So a couple of things, as you'll notice, that both Moon and Lacey don't look super clean. And that's because, you know, they go out and they roll in the dirt, they roll in the grass. Moon was recently laying down in his stall where there were nice soft shavings. And that's pretty typical of a horse that's kind of out in the pasture. And so one of the things that is really important when you have a large animal that is out in the pasture is that you groom them on a regular basis. And grooming, one of the most important things about grooming is that you're really inspecting your animal for their health. You are looking out for scrapes and bumps and their overall well-being, their attitude, and that's how we check for health. As you can see, Moon has had a good time laying down in his stall, but one of the things I noticed yesterday when I had them out is that Moon bumped his leg, and it's not anything serious, but you know, those are the little things that you want to look out for because you don't really know how deep it is, and you want to give it a good cleaning. And yeah, and so pulling your horse out and getting a good look at them and checking their attitudes is super important on a regular basis. And you can also check their weight. And when you check a horse's weight, you want to make sure that they're in good flesh, and Moon is definitely in good flesh. He is what we call an easy keeper, meaning he doesn't need a lot of food to maintain his weight. And right now, both Moon and Lacey are in really good health. So if you see this mark on Lacey, I wanted to show you guys, that is what we call a freeze brand. And when wild animals, wild donkeys and horses, when they're rounded up by the Bureau of Land Management and before they're adopted out, they're freeze brand, and they each have their own individual brand, and that's how they identify the animals. And so anyway, that will stay with her. That little brand caused the white hair to come out. And that's her little identification mark from back in her days when she was a wild girl. And she's definitely not a wild girl anymore. Safety. Well, let's just talk a minute about safety. So I would never normally tie two animals up this close together, but because Moon and Lacey are good buds, it's not a problem for them to be so close. But normally, if you had two animals that they didn't know each other, you would not tie them so close together. The other thing that's super important is tying what we call a quick release knot. And both Moon and Lacey are tied this way. Some animals, when they're spooked, will pull back, and if you have tied them in a hard knot, it's not good for their safety. They'll, you know, break their rope, could run away. Whereas if you see a horse in trouble, you can just come over and pull this knot loose. Now Moon will actually untie himself. Yes, you do. You untie yourself all the time. So in that case, what you would do, here's Lacey's, you would just actually put an extra little lock in there. So she can pull back as hard as she wants, but if I needed to get her untied in a hurry, it's hard to do holding the camera, I could still pull her loose. So that's one safety thing right there.